This case centers on in 1992, Ms. Lineback, a 79-year-old woman, purchased a cup of coffee from McDonald's drive-thru in Albuquerque, New Mexico. While parked in a car, not driving, she attempted to add cream and sugar to her coffee. During the process, the coffee spilled on her lap, causing third-degree burns on her thighs, groin, and buttocks. The coffee had been served at a temperature between 180 and 190 degrees Fahrenheit, a temperature hot enough to cause third-degree burns in just a few seconds. Ms. Lineback was hospitalized for more than a week and required skin grafts to treat her injuries. She initially asked McDonald's for only $20,000 to cover her medical bills, but the company refused to settle. As a result, the case went to trial. At trial, the jury heard evidence that McDonald's had received over 700 previous complaints about burns caused by their coffee and continued to serve it at dangerously high temperatures. The jury found that McDonald's was both negligent and strictly liable, and that its actions showed a reckless disregard for customer safety. They awarded Ms. Lineback $200,000 in compensatory damages, reduced to $160,000 due to comparative fault, and $2.7 million in punitive damages, which the judge later reduced to $480,000. The case was eventually settled confidentially. There are two key legal questions before this court. Did the trial court correctly allow the jury to hear evidence supporting punitive damages? Did the evidence support a finding of negligence and product liability under New Mexico law? We argue that the answer to both is yes. Under the New Mexico law, to establish negligence, a plaintiff must prove that the defendant owed a duty of care, breached that the duty, and caused the jury. For strict product liability, the focus is on whether the product was defective or unreasonably dangerous. In this case, McDonald's clearly owed a duty to serve coffee that was safe for consumers to handle. Evidence showed that they breached that duty by serving coffee at temperatures far above industry norms, higher than what consumers would expect or what would be safe for human contact. McDonald's internal documents showed that the company knew their coffee could cause serious burns, yet they made no effort to lower the temperatures or add appropriate warnings. That decision directly caused Ms. Lineback's injuries. Therefore, the jury's finding of both negligence and product defect was fully supported by the evidence. Now, regarding punitive damages, the standard under New Mexico law is whether the defendant acted with willful disregard for the safety of others. In the case, the jury heard that McDonald's was aware of the risk. They received hundreds of complaints about burns from coffee, and they even admitted that their coffee could cause third-degree burns in seconds. Despite that, they deliberately chose not to act. That kind of reckless behavior justifies the imposition of punitive damages. These damages are not just about compensation, they are about deterring companies from putting a profit ahead of public safety. The trial court acted within its discretion when it reduced the original punitive award and no legal error occurred. Now, McDonald's argues that customers accept their coffee to be hot and that Ms. Lineback was responsible for the spilling. But let's be clear, expecting hot coffee is not the same as expecting coffee that can cause catastrophic burns in seconds. The temperature McDonald's used was far above what most consumers would consider safe or reasonable. As for Ms. Lineback's role in the incident, the jury acknowledged that and reduced her compensatory damages by 20%. That's how comparative faults work, and it proves the jury was thoughtful and fair in its decision making. Your Honors, This case is not about someone who simply spilled coffee on themselves. It's about a large corporation ignoring known safety risk to maximize profits and then refusing to take responsibility until forced by a court of law. The trial court properly applied the law, and the jury's verdict was based on clear and compelling evidence. Therefore, I respectfully ask the court to affirm the trial court's decision in its entirety. Thank you, and happy to answer any questions the court may have.